Ladies and gents, we recently visited Stuttgart and it was thoroughly enjoyable. We got to experience Matchday at the Stadion, watching VfB Stuttgart take on St. Pauli. It was a great experience and you guys seemed to enjoy the video, but today we're going to take a closer look at the club, its history, the stadium, the fan shop, and most importantly, the beer. Prost. Really nice.
Willkommen in Stuttgart! Hey!
Ladies and gents, welcome back to Football Paradise, the home of German football from an English-speaking perspective. Now, firstly, we need to thank Dave, our tour guide for the day around Stuttgart. Now, I've made notes because Dave did take us to the Stuttgarter Kickers Stadium, which is the oldest active stadium, or it's a stadium a team have spent the longest amount of time playing at. Of course, I'm talking about the Gazi Stadion, probably known to you as the Voldau Stadion. We didn't manage to get in, of course, but we had a cheeky look around the outside through the gates, and it's a stadium I'll definitely make a point of visiting next time I'm in the area. Now, obviously, historically, they've had a rivalry with VfB Stuttgart, but correct me if I'm wrong, they've not played each other since the 1990s, so that rivalry has died down. Now, after visiting that stadium, we went back to the MHP Arena, the Stadion. We also checked out the Mercedes-Benz Museum, which is situated directly opposite the stadium. Ladies and gents, we've got the Mercedes Museum in the background. Of course, Mercedes, a Stuttgart company, along with Porsche, and apparently only the players who drive a Merc or a Porsche are allowed to park actually inside the deeper car park. Those players driving a different brand of car have to park along here, apparently, according to Dave anyway. It's free to look around part of it, then I think you have to pay to look around the rest of it. So it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you are a car enthusiast. Some absolutely beautiful Mercedes-Benz on display in that museum. We, of course, then went back the other side of the road, opposite the museum, next to the stadium. You've got all the training facilities, you've got the offices of VfB Stuttgart, and we thought, oh, this looks nice. Let's go and pop into one of the offices, or the main office, should I say. And who was sat there in reception? A German football legend, Philipp Lahm. And I felt really bad because I was kind of like invading his personal space a little bit, trying to take a video of the Bundesliga trophy. And there he was, sat next to me, Mr. Nice Guy. Really, really top bloke, really nice guy. Oh, and if we're mentioning Dave, our tour guide, he of course provided us with a lovely selection of local beers. Now, most of you have been really complimentary of Dave's beer choices, but there was one of you, I'll put the comment on screen right now, who said it wasn't necessarily the best selection of beers, and it was a little bit of the cheaper kind. But remember, again, I keep making a joke of it, our standards isn't the highest when it comes to beer. Anyway, ladies and gents, let's kick off this video, this new edition of Rye Explores, with a little bit about VfB Stuttgart's history. Founded all the way back in 1893 as Stuttgarter Fußballverein, like many German clubs, they had many different names in their early years, partly due to mergers with other local football clubs. They've won the German Championship 5 times, with 3 of those being after the Bundesliga rebrand in 1963. Their most recent title came in the 06-07 season, and they've won the DFB Pokal 4 times. Most recently, of course, last season. The Bundesliga recently posted this, which shows VfB Stuttgart as the joint 6th biggest German club in terms of memberships. They moved to the Stadion, originally known as the Stuttgarter Kampfbahn, now the MHP Arena, and once Adolf Hitler Kampfbahn. They moved here in 1933, but it's been renovated numerous times over the years, most recently for Euro 2024 at a cost of almost 140 million euros. It's also hosted games at the World Cups in '74 and '06, and also Euro '88. On first impression, the stadium looked impressive from a distance as we crossed the river below. I know some of you might take offence, but from a distance it looks a little bit like West Ham's London Stadium, or maybe the VfB Arena in Leverkusen. However, up close, and especially inside, it was far more impressive. The VfB Arena only has a capacity of around 30,000, whereas this stadium holds over 60,000 spectators. So for those of you who tuned in to the live stream this past weekend, we addressed the rumour that Archie, my sidekick, has left VfL Bochum and has been adopted by the Stuttgart Ultras. Archie absolutely bloody loved the MHP Arena and Stuttgart, as did I of course as well, but maybe not to the level Archie did. As much as we loved it though, I must say that this ticket was one of the most expensive German football tickets I'd bought, and no, that's not because we bought off a reseller website like Viagogo or something like that, directly from the club through a member of the club. We paid €75 for the ticket, so €150 for the two. It even says it on the ticket. They're proud of their incredibly high prices. You know, German football has a reputation here in Britain as to being great value for money, the fans are looked after, etc. And that was for an upper tier ticket. But with that said, the view was still fantastic, and it was definitely money well spent. Now, of course, at the moment, the capacity is around 60,000, and we mentioned we had an upper tier seat. But despite that fact, the view is really good. Now, up until recent renovations, of course, it had a running track around the outside, and the spectators were a lot further away from the pitch. A little bit like the Max Morlock Stadion in Nuremberg, which is where we were the day after this Stuttgart game. So make sure you're subscribed for our next video all about FC Nuremberg, the stadium, and of course the controversial history with the Nazis using that area as their own little paradise. Back to Stuttgart, and in the last video I said this. All sorts going on. Of course it's Oktoberfest time almost as well, so there'll be some kind of things going on. I kind of got it half right. Near the stadium you'll have the Cannstatter Wassen, which is Stuttgart's festival, a beer fest, a little bit like Oktoberfest, I guess. Speaking of beer, inside the stadium you're going to be paying around €5.60 for a beer, which I guess is around £5 Great British pounds. Of course, remember in Germany they normally charge you an extra €2 for the plastic cup, which you'll get back when you return it afterwards.
We've made it.
Let's do a good
Let's do a good one, mate. Prost.
Oh hell yeah, Sean.
Oh hell yeah. Let's go.
Bad influence.
Yeah, he's with the wrong person.
Now, regardless of whatever stadium I visited in Germany, I can never be asked to return the cup. Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments below. Do you actually return the plastic cups, or do you, like me, as a typical lazy Brit, just cut your losses and think, right, screw the €2 per cup, I'm going home, I can't be bothered to wait. I mean, of course, you could do the nice thing and give your cup to a kid. There's a lot of kids knocking around collecting cups for pocket money, of course. And also here at Football Paradise HQ, you might see I normally proudly keep the cups if they've got a nice bit of artwork on them. We've got a cup here from Darmstadt, from Cottbus. Dave, what do we have here?
That's called, in our region, it's called a Weizen beer.
Yeah.
In Bavaria, it's called Weissbier.
White beer.
And it's typical for South Germany, beside Pils or Helles.
It looks different. It looks
It's cloudy.
cloudy.
Yeah.
Oh, Archie's on the Weiss beer as well.
Yeah, we've got one.
But
Shock.
you have also Kristallweizen, then
Yes.
it's clear like a normal beer.
Okay.
And that's a Hefeweizen.
We've got cups all over the place, but I don't know if it was just this time, but the cups had no nice bit of artwork on them. They were merely plain plastic cups, so there was no reason to keep the bloody cup. One of the few imperfections of this experience, on referencing the beer and the selection of beer we sampled, if you feel like we should have tried any other beers, get involved in the comments below. What better beers are local to the area? So then guys, let's take a quick look at the Bundesliga table. In first place, of course, I'm biased. I'm going to go with the local Bochum beer, Vega Pils. You didn't expect anything else, did you? In number 2, we've got the Gruer Hell, the local beer we tried in Darmstadt. Number 3, we've got a Stuttgarter beer. We've got Stuttgarter Hofbrau Pilsner, a very, very nice beer in the can. I know a lot of you say it's not the best beer on offer, but I really enjoyed it. And I know I'm English and my taste buds aren't so refined as some of you Germans. In 4th place, we've got the Paderborner Pilger. Don't be confused, we do have another Paderborner beer on this table. In 5th place, we've got the Stuttgarter Kepseler, another beer we tried at the can. Very nice. I must just reference the previous Stuttgarter beer, the Hofbrau Pilsner. We tried that both in the can and the draft version in the stadium. The draft version in the stadium was colder, and if not even better in the cup than it was in the can. In 6th place, of course, the sponsor of Arena auf Schalke, we've got Fountains. In 7th place, in dead last, as I said, the Paderborner Pilsner. Not too bad, gave me one of the worst hangovers of my life. It's going to probably stay in last place throughout the season. And of course, we've only been focusing on the different beers since the start of this season. So every time we visit a club going forward, we will taste test the local beer. And if you have any suggestions of German beers you'd like us to try, of course, let us know in the comments section below. Moving on, we of course used public transport apart from a brief journey in Dave's car. Now, if you do want to travel by car to a game at the MHP Arena, bear in mind there's 60,000 people looking to leave the stadium at the same time, so you're very likely to be stuck in traffic. So then guys, if you'd like more of a detailed breakdown as to how much these trips to Germany cost me or cost the channel, stay tuned, because this weekend, probably on Saturday, I'm going to be uploading more of a detailed breakdown on how much it costs to follow a German football team or just to watch German football as a ground hopper. I'm talking flights, I'm talking hotels, I'm talking spending money, other transport costs like trains and stuff. If that interests you, check out the video on Saturday. Now, as I glance to my notes, of course, we need to mention their most recent success being the end of last season. They won the DFB Pokal against Arminia Bielefeld. Obviously, Bielefeld were a 3rd division team at the time, but a great win there for VfB Stuttgart. It was their first trophy since that last Bundesliga win in 2007. Now, we went to the fan shop. The fan shop was huge. It was really good. Now, I come into criticism for this sometimes, not by many people, but there's the odd person that believes, and I understand it. If you're a fan of a club, you can only buy items from your own club shop. And I fully get this, but again, my circumstance is I am a bit of a tourist, aren't I? I'm British. Even though I am a VfL Bochum fan, I make videos on the Bundesliga, Zweite Liga, Dritte Liga and so on. We make videos on German football. This isn't a Bochum specific fan channel. So you might see next to me here, we have a scarf. And I bought this out of my hard-earned money. This was €19. We had €1 left for a nice discounted pair of DFB Pokal Sonnenbrille sunglasses, which look great here at Football Paradise. Again, I'm not going to be rocking round Cheltenham, where I live, in the Stuttgart stuff. I'm obviously going to be repping my own club, but we want to fully immerse ourselves into the experience, what it's like to be a fan of each of these clubs we visit. It really is a passion of mine to experience different football fan cultures. Now, this scarf says, Nach all der Scheiße Gates auf die Reise, which I believe translates to, I've even put the translation on here, through all the shit, we go on a journey. Is that right? Let us know in the comments below. And yeah, Archie had to really, if Archie had money, he'd spent it all on beer, he would have definitely raided the club shop. Really good club shop. Now, in terms of the fans, of course, I've mentioned Dave. The fans that we spoke to, we came across, were really nice. Now, I had a positive feeling about the fans prior to this experience, because as a Bochum fan, I was at the Ruhrstadion the last time we played each other when Stuttgart beat us 4-0. We had a beer with some Stuttgart fans after the game. Really nice people, and that probably pushed me to come and experience the MHP Arena for a home game, of course. Now, the food was quite decent. We did try the Rotwurst, which is like a red sausage. I'll be honest, I couldn't taste too much difference than a normal bratwurst. The skin seemed to be a little thicker. Whether that was just a style of wurst, I don't know, but it was fairly decent. I think we paid, was it €5 per Rotwurst? The pommes we had, I think that's just a chain that I've seen them in Nuremberg as well. Those pommes are really nice, the chips. Now, after that, we did a typical tourist thing. We went to KFC after the game. I'm going to be honest with you. I know Burger King in Nuremberg, KFC in Stuttgart, and Archie spent a whopping €25 in KFC. Go on, Arch. So we mentioned a previous rivalry. I'm sure it still exists, the rivalry with Kickers, but it's obviously died down. Their main rival now, most fans would consider Karlsruhe. Now again, from a Bochum perspective, our away day to Karlsruhe comes on the very last game of the Zweite Liga season, where hopefully we don't get relegated again to the Dritte Liga. I heard there was a bit of a rivalry with Frankfurt. Now I don't want to be controversial because people have said to me, were the Stuttgart Ultras or were the Stuttgart fans more lively than Frankfurt? Now, I don't mean to upset anyone. I do honestly feel like the Eintracht Frankfurt Ultras were some of the loudest I've heard in German football, but my experience came when they played Dortmund, and of course if Stuttgart had played a Dortmund, a Bayern or whatever, I feel like maybe they would have raised their game even more. But with that said, they were fantastic. As you saw, a really nice display, banner, tifo, whatever you want to call it, before the game. They were active, really impressive. I was also a lot further back from the Ultras than I was in Frankfurt as well, so it's hard to compare between the two. It's got incredibly sunny here at Football Paradise. I know it's supposed to be a paradise, but it never normally is sunny. Ladies and gents, thanks for watching. If you have any experiences of your own in Stuttgart, share them in the comments section below. And as I said, if you are to go there as a tourist, make sure you do fully immerse yourself into the culture. Try and respect those around you, especially if you're taking pictures and videos. Check out the Mercedes-Benz Museum, check out the training facilities, check out the local food, and of course the beer. Ladies and gents, I'll see you in the next video where we explore FC Nürnberg. Dankeschön, auf wieder, bloody Zane.